So, I've been going to anime conventions for quite some time. I hate to admit it, but it's nearing the 10-year mark now, which is both neat and shameful in some ways. I don't want to talk about how much money I've blown at cons. Nevertheless, in my tenured at anime conventions, inevitably I've gotten involved in some incredibly strange situations. Well, I think it's more so the case that many incredibly strange situations just happen to me, like way too often. So, nevertheless, I've gotten many incredible stories out of these ludicrous situations that I've always told to my immediate friend group. And at one point, someone was like, "Dude, why don't you just put these stories on your YouTube channel?" Oh. So, here I am. So this story happened very recently at a convention called MechaCon. It's a chill little convention in New Orleans, Louisiana, and fun fact, was the very first convention I ever went to way back in the day. So this year, we got a room at the convention itself, with my older brother, myself, my two younger sisters, and one of their friends named Jack. I guess being a weeb must be genetic or something because we are all super into anime. I would even dare to say that I'm the most casual anime fan out of the four of us, and talking about anime is literally my job. Either way, one of the great things about MechaCon is that it's totally a late night convention. You can go out and party, you can chill in the halls at night, and even the gaming room is open 24 hours a day. So Friday is finishing up. It's about 3 a.m. and we're all relaxing in the room when one of my sisters decides that she wants to go out to the game room. I figured it'd be best to join her because she's not exactly the brightest individual. It's not even an age thing either. My youngest sister is 16, and if she had been the one who wanted to go down there, I probably would have just shrugged it off and let her go. No, it's my 22-year-old younger sister whom I need to keep a watchful eye over. So after a little banter, we all decide to join her and head to the game room. Well, except for my older brother who was passed out drunk at this point. Living the dream as always. My two sisters head off in one direction, and Jack and I head over to the rhythm games. Mostly because I like rhythm games, and Jack loves crushing noobs like me in rhythm games. So about an hour passes, and Jack and I decide to go looking for my sisters and find them playing Brawl with two other guys. Well, more specifically, the older one is playing Brawl while my younger sister watches. So Jack and I sit down and decide to watch as well, and everything is going great. The two guys are fairly nice, chatting back and forth, and my sister is having fun despite being absolutely curb stomped by the other two. Then, right as the match is drawing to an end, I look up and see this guy walking towards us. You see, I had almost forgotten that we were at an anime convention at 4 a.m. in the gaming room, and he almost instantaneously reminded me of this fact. You see, he wasn't particularly dressed weird or looked weird. There was just a specific aura around him that makes you go, "Oh shit, this dude has a few screws loose." So this guy walks up with his GameCube controller and sees that we have an empty slot and asks to join in. The two guys shrug and say sure, and he plugs his controller in. Then he instantly looks at Jack. "Hi, my name's Adrian. What's yours?" You see, up until this point, I've kept a pretty vital piece of information from you guys. Jack is a girl at an anime convention out at 4 a.m. in the game room. Jack, clearly being uncomfortable, responds with her name, and he does this weird smile and just continues watching the match. So me, being the kind gentleman that I am, decides, hey, if he's only going to introduce himself to Jack and not the rest of us, I'll gladly be that guy who goes that extra mile. So I introduced myself, my sisters, and even the two other guys who were playing with us, and this dude just looks at me and rolls his eyes. Oh, you son of a bitch. So the next game starts, and Adrian joins in, and my sisters switch out, so now the youngest one is playing. Unfortunately, despite being incredibly savvy, my youngest sister was never much of a gamer. Thus, she barely knew the controls to Brawl. And the second this match begins, this dude just starts targeting her. Just like absolutely cutthroat, which is a dick move in itself. But as this is happening, he is audibly saying, "Get fucking wrecked. Get off my stage, loser," to my 16-year-old sister who has clearly never played this game before. Luckily, my sister is a really good sport and she just blew it off, but the mood of the entire night was ruined. The two other guys in the match weren't talking anymore and were clearly not having fun. And the rest of us were just silently watching as this kid talked non-stop shit. And he wasn't even like one-sided about it. When he was getting focused, all you'd hear is, "Wow, really? Really? Oh, how do you have priority over me?" Then when he get a kill, he'd talk more shit like, "Aw, dude, too easy. Get off my fucking stage." Like, dude, you know we're all sitting right here. We can all hear you. So the first match ends and he loses to one of the other guys, and as I look to him, I notice something weird. As the victory screen pops up, he puts one of his hands on Jack's shoulders and rubs it back and forth slowly. And Jack at this point is clearly super uncomfortable with it. So the next match starts up and it's the exact same thing. Everyone is silently playing except for him, who is non-stop talking shit. And now, I was paying attention. Every time he lost a stock, he would rub Jack's shoulder in the creepiest manner possible. So I text my sister that this dude is super weird. And she texts me back saying she noticed as well and that he was being super touchy-feely with Jack. So I jokingly say to text Jack that if she shuts this guy down hard, I'd pay her $5. Then my sister, almost instantaneously, sends me a screenshot. I had realized the mistake that I had made. You see, Jack being a girl wasn't the only secret I've kept about her. There are two others. The first is that Jack doesn't give a shit about anything. The fact that she'd been taking this guy's shit for so long without breaking his arm was pretty impressive to begin with. The second is who she is friends with. You see, she's mostly friends with my 16-year-old youngest sister, making Jack only 17 years old. So the match ends and Mr. Creepy was rubbing Jack's shoulder again. But this time, Jack's reaction was a little different. You see, she had a giant smile on her face, and she looks up to him and asked in an almost flirtatious voice, "Hey, how old are you?" "Why do you want to know?" "Well, I just want to kind of make sure that you aren't underage." He laughs a little, and then he answers that he is in fact in his late 20s.
Bam! Just like that. That's all there is to it, Dustin. That's all there is to it. A winner!
Well, that's funny, because I'm only 17. His entire face turned white, and he just stood there for a solid 10 seconds. Then we all got up and left him there, as if we were looking away while a giant explosion went off. And I tell you what, that was the best $5 I've ever spent. Ooh, we did it. Sorry I was gone for last week, but if you followed me on Twitter, you would know that I've been working on this extra special project for you guys. A lot has changed, some of it permanent, some of it not. For instance, I have all new channel art thanks to GGIT, i.e. the same artist I used previously. Speaking of which, if you're interested, all of her links are in the description. So the point of this video was for me to test myself and see what I could accomplish in 2 weeks instead of 1, while also venturing into some territory I've always been sort of interested in, but never had the guts to actually try creating content in. This will probably be my only storytime video I do for this channel because it was a shitload of work, and on top of that, I doubt it'll get many views. Either way, we'll be back to our normally scheduled content this starting week. As usual, a huge shout out to all of my patrons. You guys are my heroes. If you're interested in seeing how I edit, chatting with me, or simply supporting the channel, I run a $1 a month Patreon to make that as easy as possible. Make sure you guys share, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Manime Matt. Make sure you guys say, man, go watch that goddamn anime.